Hello everybody, welcome back to Read and Reread. I am Angelia and today I am going to attempt the Barbie tag. I was tagged by Priscilla, an evening reader, and this is a tag of questions inspired by the new movie Barbie, which I haven't seen, but my daughter saw it and she really liked it. So Priscilla tagged me in this video. Her video is very funny and I'm going to link it below. And the video was created by Julie at Books by Ear, and I will include her video as well. Her channel is about audiobooks. All right, so disclaimer, of course, I have not seen this movie, and so I hope my answers are somehow relevant. I have the questions here on my Chromebook. This is number one. Barbie's full name is Barbara Millicent Roberts. Find a book with a character called Barbara in it, or, like me, cheat and name an author. Well, it just so happens that one of the books I most recently finished has a very memorable character named Barbara. I can't put this book up on the screen because it's only a manuscript right now, but it's my husband Stephen's book. Working title is Burials, and there's a character named Barbara. She is an intensely loyal friend to another character, so intense that, I mean, you should not mess with Barbara. And Barbara is not a human. Barbara is a monkey, and she is a shockingly intelligent and skillful monkey. So I will not forget Barbara soon. So that is the most recent Barbara in my reading life. The first set of Barbie animated movies were based upon fairy tales or ballets. Suggest a book that would be great for Barbie. All right, I remember these movies because my daughter Emma was really into these at one point. When she was in like preschool, there was these DVDs, or I don't even know, was it VHS? I think it was DVDs, but they were Barbie. It was Fairytopia and Mermaidia or something like that, but they were kind of fantasy stories and dolls and Barbie. And I remember a Fairytopia birthday cake somewhere in that era. She was probably 4. All right, so based on the concept that Barbie would have been into all that, I have 2 suggestions. So I first think that she should read this book, Mirror, Mirror, by Marilyn Singer. It's a children's poetry book, and Marilyn Singer has written several books where there's a poem, and then the poem goes in reverse, like the lines are reversed, so the last line is the first line, and it has a different theme and topic and emotion when you read it the other way. And she has written a couple of books like this based on fairy tales and folk tales, and she has one about Greek myths. So that is my little opener for Barbie, is to read Mirror, Mirror. And then I'm going to step her up and recommend to her The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And I think that imaginary fictional Barbie will like this story because it has elements of fantasy and romance in it, and I think she will go for it. If you've never read this, it is a book about a woman named Addie LaRue, and it starts in, oh my gosh, I don't even know, like the 1600s, I think, 1700s. But she's a young woman who is being coerced into an arranged marriage that she is not interested in participating in, and she is dreaming of a way out, and she is approached by a handsome stranger who offers to strike a deal with her that she can escape this destiny and live for all time, except that no one will ever remember her once she's out of their sight. So she can travel anywhere she wants, she can live as long as she wants, but if she even just goes around a corner and comes back, the person she was talking to won't remember her again. And if she tires of this life, she can move on, but she will owe this handsome stranger her soul. So she has made a deal with a devil of sorts. And so Addie starts going through time, and she goes through the centuries, And it's kind of an exciting existence because she sees a lot of things and experiences a lot of things, but it's also very lonely because she can't make any lasting relationships until one day in the current times she meets a man working at a bookstore, and he remembers her when she comes back to the store. So how is this possible? What's the deal? What's going to happen? This is my recommendation to Barbie, stepping up a level from fairy tales. All right, number 3 is, okay, this is in the voice of Julie, who made the video. When my daughter was a little girl, I used to buy her Barbies. As an adult, I've always fancied collecting the collectible ones. Have you ever wanted? I guess it's supposed to be wanted to. If not this doll, what? Okay, so no, I don't want to collect Barbies, but let me expand and expound here. Expand and explain. So I was not really into Barbies as a kid. I know I had a couple, but that was like not my main thing. I liked other things more. But I remember having Barbie, and I remember the little vinyl case with a handle that had like a skinny spot for the doll and then a big open part for like to carry around the clothes. It's like you're putting her in a coffin or something. If I can find a picture of those, I'll put it up here. I remember having that, but I wasn't into it, and I didn't keep it. And then my own daughter, she did like them. Again, it wasn't her favorite thing, but she was into it more than I was. So she had those Fairytopia type ones, and then later she had some of the regular ones where you just put outfits on them and play with them. But again, it wasn't like a big thing. But I have to share on the topic of collectible dolls. No, we don't collect dolls, and dolls are intensely creepy. Like now we really enjoy finding creepy dolls in thrift stores and showing them to each other. But I have to show you this book. And I think I have an old video where I shared this book. It might have been like last October when I did some kind of spooky and creepy themed videos, but this book is so creepy. And my daughter was obsessed with this book when she was a toddler. I mean, little bitty, like maybe not even 2, maybe like from ages 1 to 3. We had to look at this book a million times. And it is the creepiest. It's about antique dolls and the history of dolls. And it has some really old, horrible, frightening, decrepit dolls. And she would just stare at the pages. For the longest time, I marked a couple of these. They're so, how is it that this doll never came out in the night and killed me? And then, look, there's even clown dolls. Could it be any more horrible? So that's why was my little bitty baby girl obsessed with this nasty book? And why did we buy this book? Why was it in our house? And why is it still here? My last entry on this topic is this plate. Behold. So I found this in a thrift store like last year. And it's just absolutely horrible. And on the back, it's even worse. The description says, Elise is one of the rare, much-loved K and R's. Blah, 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 blah. She has blue painted eyes and the sad smile of a gentle child. Okay, who wrote that? Because we need to be monitoring that person closely. This is absolutely awful. So what I did was I bought it, and then I waited for the next time Emma was here, and when we had dinner, I put her food on the plate, and she didn't notice it at first. It took her a while to start eating and realize what was on the plate. Oh, it was good. And I've done it to her a couple times, and now she's like, do I get this plate every time? And yes you do. So that's completely had nothing to do with Barbie. And let's see what the next question is. Number 4. Oh, and by the way, what I do collect, which has absolutely nothing to do with books or Barbie or anything, it's just a random comment, is I collect vintage Bermuda bags and their covers. but I'm not going to bring them out because it has nothing to do with this topic. Barbie means a lot to millions of people around the world for varying reasons. Tell us about a book that is special to you and why. You know, I have a booktube rickroll on that. What book do I find a way to wedge into every single tag? That's right, it's Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. It is special to me because it's my favorite novel, and I have loved it ever since I was 14 years old. And I am completely Team Holden, and I know a lot of people absolutely despise this novel, and I don't care. I love it, and I will be reading it again around Christmas time. Let's see if we're going to get any closer to the actual topic of Barbie on the next question. Number 5. Suggest a book that needs to be read in Barbie Land that has a message about humanity. Okay. For real. I'm going to recommend The Humans by Matt Haig. And I'll put a picture up. I don't have a copy here, and we kind of probably need one. We gave one to Emma. It's kind of a family favorite. All 3 of us really love this book, and we've also given it out to at least one other friend, or we gave one to our niece one time. Anyway, we all love this book, and I want to tell you, if you read The Midnight Library and you found that to be a disappointing book, and that's the only thing you read by Matt Haig, please try to block that out of your memory and give this book a chance, because it is 1,000 times better than The Midnight Library. In this book, there is, okay, it's going to sound really hokey, but you just got to trust me that it's not. Because, you know, I don't like fluffy, hokey books. So there is an alien who comes to Earth for a particular scientific reason. There's something he's supposed to do. And when one of these aliens comes to Earth, they have to take over and inhabit a human body. So that he takes over the body of this professor that has something to do with his mission. And he begins to take up this man's lifestyle. And he's supposed to do this for a period of time until he can obtain what he's there to do. But he gets kind of caught up in it. And the person that he has taken over and that he's impersonating was a pretty miserable person, unhappy in his home life. His marriage is not holding up well. He's not emotionally connected to his son. And so anyway, as he begins to live in this man's life, he begins to learn more about human beings than what he was told, and stuff happens. So that is the book that I would recommend. And I also liked his book, How to Stop Time, but I really liked The Humans, and I really did not like The Midnight Library. But so I'm going to recommend The Humans for the Barbie Land folks. Next question is book recommendations for Ken and Barbie. I have a 3-prong approach for Ken and Barbie. So first I'm going to butter them up with a kind of fluffy book, which is The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. And I'm going to give them this book because it's not too challenging or too frightening in its concepts. It's very inclusive. It's a fantasy. It's very diverse. It's got a love story, and it's queer, and it has feel-good vibes. And so I think that they can handle that as a starter, and they're going to enjoy this story. Then I'm rolling in with a more challenging book for them, which is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm choosing this for them because their director, Greta Gerwig, previously, her last movie was an adaptation of Little Women, and I really liked that adaptation. And I feel like they should read this book and then see that movie. I think they should think about the feminist themes that are subtle in the book but more enhanced in the movie, about the roles of women and how Jo and Amy in particular were constrained and stifled by 19th century expectations as creative women. And I think that it might have a universal connection there for Barbie and Ken could use it too. So I'm going to recommend that they read that. And then I'm coming in for the real punch with my third recommendation for them, which is The Handmaid's Tale, because I know they have not read this. And since they are so concerned about the patriarchy, they need to read Margaret Atwood's iconic dystopian novel. And this brings me to the important question is, how is it possible that we still don't have a copy of that book in this house? Why? Why do we not have The Handmaid's Tale? I'm looking at a whole row of Margaret Atwood books, and there's no Handmaid's Tale. This must be corrected. That's the end of the tags. I'm not going to pick out anyone specific for this one. If you like these questions, or you like Barbie, or you really don't like Barbie, those will all be fun reasons to do this tag. So consider yourself tagged. And I hope you have a great day. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon for Friday Reads. Bye-bye.